gonna make pork carnitas. Carnitas is a staple Mexican diet. You can make tacos, tostadas, burritos. You can snack on it if you want. And I'm gonna show you how to make it on an iron skillet, which we've got a big one right here. With these skillets, if they're not pre-seasoned, you just add a little bit of oil, heat it up, add some salt, and just kind of with a towel, rub it in. But I've already done that, so we don't need to do that. We are starting with, this is pork carnitas. This is boneless. True Mexican fashion, we went and got something that's discounted because we're gonna cook it right away. So it's still safe to eat, it's just a better price. And that's what we're gonna do. We are gonna begin. Comes out, this is about the size we want. I want about the cubes, about an inch all the way around. So this is what it's gonna look like. See that? And that's perfect because when it cooks down and the fat gets rendered out of there, that'll be the perfect size. Plus it'll also be fall apart, delicious. You don't want to clean off the fat on this because the fat is what makes it, is what gives it that yummy flavor. In fact, if you have pork that's too lean, you might want to add a little bit of lard to it, a little bit of manteca. But that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to get this prepped to the right size and then add it to the skillet. So now we've got this really hot temperature. You can check by putting a piece of meat in there. And you can hear that sizzle. So now we're going to add our meat to all this. I want it to sizzle just a little bit, to sear, before I add the rest of the ingredients. Yum, yum, yum. Because what I've been told is that makes that fat start to render, and that's what we want. We want that beautiful flavor. So it's gonna stick a little bit because this is iron skillet, which is okay. We don't have a problem with that. It's all stayed in the same skillet, so it won't be bad. Now I'm adding, this is 2.5 pounds of pork, boneless pork. So I'm gonna add, I would add about 3 cloves of garlic, or 4 of the individual pieces. But with this, I'm adding about 4 tablespoons is what I did. Not a little less. While it's doing that, we're also going to season it to taste with the garlic salt. I put in quite a bit because Carnitas demand it. And this is the Italian seasoning, just something basic everyone can afford. Doing that, I'm going to mix it up a little bit, and then I'm going to add the last ingredient, which is water. So the water that you add, basically you want to cover it, but you want the carnitas to come out. So I don't know exactly how much water it's going to be. It'll be different each time. Alright. So about that is good. We're going to bring it to heat. I have it on high heat right now. We're going to bring it to temperature. And then we're going to lower the temperature. We're going to cook for about an hour. At that point, I'll be checking it and seeing the tenderness, and either we cook for a little longer or we're done. I'll also have to adjust the palette of the salt, and maybe I might need some more oregano in there. But for now, we'll let it cook for about an hour, just like that. Once we've got it to right here, this is a little rolling boil. Then that's when we're going to take it down to a medium heat and let them do their thing. We want that water boil away while it cooks, while it does its magic and tenderizes that meat. So these carnitas are just about perfect. That would be beer to accompany when you're finishing up a good meal. I want you to see what they'll look like. We boil down the water slowly on a medium-low heat. Let me show you what that looks like in this. Medium-low. Took a little over an hour. And now it's just going to finish rendering the fat in this. But they are cooked. It's also going to brown it a little bit, and that's what the cast iron pot is for. But I want to show you specifically. Take a look. I haven't done this yet, but it should be. These should just fall apart like that. See? It's not as tender as you would be if you had cooked it in a crock pot for a few hours. But it does get tender enough for carnitas, which is what you want. So now we're going to cook this down. I need to taste. See, it falls apart in my hands. Super yummy. I left this cook a little longer. Just let that fat, flavor everything. As you can see, this is going to be a little bit hard to clean up, but doesn't matter. This is delicious. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to take a few pieces. I'm going to make a taco out of that. We're gonna fall apart like that. Let's show you how tender it is. You don't need to do that. If you have a big mouth like me, you can eat that chunk like that in one swallow. But I don't necessarily want that. So now we're gonna have a taco. It's a flour tortilla. It's already been preheated. And we're making this taco just like that. I'm gonna add a little bit of lettuce. And there you have it. Something very simple. Not necessarily the healthiest, but not bad for you. And delicious. So, there you have it.